Something strange is happening in Hollywood, and it is threatening to consume us all. Unfortunately, however, Jim Carrey has been trying to warn us for decades, and we are just discovering that now, just when things might be getting too late. Many thought Jim was crazy, or probably blabbering around his comic works when he spoke about how a large cartel of celebrities are performing rituals using the dead bodies of missing persons, forcing their victims to engage in absurd acts with animals, and even going as far as draining their red fluids to reverse aging. However shocking, revelations are now unfolding, showing that there might be truth in all this, and that Jim Carrey might have been warning us all along. From the very start of his career, Jim Carrey has consistently tried to expose the dark side of Hollywood. He has not shied away from pointing fingers at powerful people, even when most of the public dismissed him as joking or performing a comedic act. Jim has repeatedly brought attention to what he claims is a network of elite figures operating in secrecy, using their wealth and influence to manipulate and control events behind closed doors. He has spoken about it in interviews, on talk shows, and in public appearances, often combining his comedy with messages that seem shocking to viewers, but were meant to reveal the truth. One of his most remarkable moments came on Jimmy Kimmel Live, where he openly revealed the Illuminati symbol. During that appearance, he formed the symbol with his hands and mouth, explaining that it represented a secret society controlling aspects of the entertainment world. He went as far as accusing Jimmy Kimmel himself of being a member of this group. At the time, people laughed and assumed it was another comedy stunt. However, Jim's accusations were very specific. He highlighted how celebrities and talk show hosts are often trained or hired to distract the public, keeping them entertained and misinformed while more sinister events occur in the shadows. He called it a system designed to manipulate perception, insisting that the signs and symbols used by the elites are everywhere, but hidden in plain sight. Another crucial example of Jim's warnings occurred during his 2018 BAFTA Awards speech. Standing in front of some of the most powerful figures in entertainment, he accused elites of stealing newborns and using them for ritualistic sacrifices. At the time, the public found it hard to believe. The moment was brushed off as an eccentric outburst from a comedian, but looking back, with recent investigations and the release of detailed records such as the Epstein files, many are revisiting that speech and considering it in a very different light. Jim's words, once dismissed as absurd, are now being seen as warnings of very real and frightening practices, suggesting that his early attempts to expose these dark activities were serious, deliberate, and consistent throughout his career. Piecing the puzzle together, none of the things Jimmy said made sense until the recent release of the 3 million Epstein files. The Epstein files are a massive collection of documents, emails, and evidence connected to Jeffrey Epstein, the financier who was accused of trafficking and abusing minors for decades. These files have revealed previously hidden communications between Epstein, wealthy elites, celebrities, and politicians, exposing a network of people involved in disturbing and criminal activities. With the dreadful revelations that have come as a result of those files, people are now looking back to Jimmy amongst others for answers. So let's delve into some of the content of these files. Among the revelations is a particularly dreadful clip that tells the story of model Gabriella Rico. Gabriella had been paid to attend one of Epstein's gatherings, thinking she was going to a high-profile social event. What she witnessed was beyond belief. According to the file, Gabriella saw human flesh being consumed with her own eyes. She described the event in the clip with fear and trembling, explaining that the people involved were not ordinary criminals, but elite figures she had admired or known from media and social circles. The clip dates back to 2009, but it has just recently been discovered after relentless investigation. The media had attempted to bury it at the time, suppressing any attention it might draw. Unfortunately, this recording was Gabriella's first and her last public account. Since that confession, there has been no trace of her. No one knows if she is alive, dead, or if she was forcibly silenced. The implications are chilling, as it shows that anyone who speaks out might disappear without a trace. It gets more disturbing. Gabriella's confession was just one piece of the puzzle. Another recording surfaced from a different victim, describing experiences even more terrifying. This female victim recounted encounters with what she referred to as monsters disguised as humans. In her testimony, she explained how these people forced victims into unspeakable acts and exposed them to horrifying rituals. These experiences reaffirmed Jim Carrey's warnings, showing that what was once dismissed as fantasy or or comedy may have had a basis in reality. The details from the files reveal that these rituals included not only abuse and violence, but also the deliberate use of fear and control over the victims to maintain power. But evil is adept at hiding itself. If not, there is no better explanation for why the public remained largely unaware of what was happening, even in the face of evidence. One of the most striking examples is the disturbing speech by author Barbara Marx. During a lecture on human evolution, she accidentally confessed to consuming babies. At the time, the remark was dismissed as a slip of the tongue. Few questioned her words or explored their meaning, but considering what has emerged from the Epstein files and corroborating testimonies, her statement now takes on a far more sinister significance. It is not a simple mistake when the context aligns with patterns of behavior revealed in multiple investigations. The realization is chilling. As revelations continue to surface, more shocking details have emerged. Roseanne Barra is another person who tried to expose this dark side of Hollywood. In a video statement, she spoke about the ongoing consumption of human flesh within elite circles, calling the perpetrators vampires. She further explained that she had witnessed some victims suffering in mental health facilities, attempting to recover from trauma caused by these experiences. Some victims were forced to participate in acts with animals, while others were made to watch their fellow humans die. The extent of the manipulation and cruelty is difficult to comprehend. The implications are horrifying. These revelations show a system where cruelty is normalized among certain elites. Power and secrecy protect them, allowing these acts to continue for decades. Victims are silenced, intimidated, or disappear entirely, leaving only fragmented evidence for investigators to uncover. The Epstein files, along with the accounts of Gabriella Rico, the other unnamed victims, Barbara Marx, and Roseanne Barra, provide a glimpse into a world most people cannot imagine but is hiding in plain sight. These documents and testimonies corroborate what Jim Carrey has been warning about for years, showing that his allegations were not baseless, but may have been some of the earliest public attempts to shine a light on the horrors hidden within Hollywood. The reality is difficult to confront. People have been trained to dismiss these warnings or label them as exaggeration, yet the convergence of the Epstein files and multiple eyewitness accounts makes it harder to ignore. The public is beginning to understand the magnitude of what was happening in plain sight. Jim Carrey's early speeches, once seen as eccentric or outlandish, are now being re-evaluated in a frightening context. The warnings he issued are consistent with the evidence that has now emerged, suggesting that Hollywood's darkest corners have been active in ways previously unimaginable. But the horrifying truth does not get easier. More dark truths revealed. Another messy revelation surrounding these dark elites revolves around allegations that they have been harvesting human fluid to reverse aging. Central to this discussion is a substance known as adrenochrome. According to the dictionary, adrenochrome is a chemical compound produced by the oxidation of adrenaline. In ordinary scientific terms, it has been studied for its potential effects on the human body and brain. But in the context of these elite circles, adrenochrome is believed to have a much darker role. It is said to be harvested from individuals who are put into extreme fear or trauma, specifically children or young victims, and then consumed by powerful figures to maintain youth, vitality, and even temporary invincibility. The controversy around this has caused immense confusion among the public. Many have dismissed it as conspiracy theory or fantasy. However, recent disclosures have made people question what they thought they knew. One of the most shocking pieces of evidence comes from a tweet by Chrissy Teigen. In this tweet, she allegedly mentioned attending a party where 4-year-old cheese pizza would be served, followed by the eye emoji. According to FBI code words that have been uncovered in discussions about these elites, cheese refers to a little child and pizza refers to a girl. The tweet, whether innocent or not, caused a major stir because it fits a pattern that has been reported in multiple investigations, where cryptic language is used to conceal horrific activity. Adding more credibility to these claims are emails uncovered in the Epstein files. One such email involves Dr. Agus, a professor of medicine and biomedical engineering at USC. He is also the founding director and CEO of the Ellison Medical Institute, funded by Larry Ellison, the tech billionaire and owner of TikTok. Dr. Agus has been associated with high-profile Paramount shows that featured celebrities like Ashton Kutcher and Oprah Winfrey. According to the emails, these events were used to coordinate or discuss the supply and use of adrenochrome. This aligns with other evidence suggesting that Hollywood has been training the public to normalize fear and trauma as as entertainment. A recurring theme that emerges from these files and reports is a disturbing pattern that mirrors scenes from certain popular films. For instance, in the Pixar movie Monsters, Inc., monsters enter children's rooms to harvest their screams to power a city. While this is presented as innocent fantasy, investigators have pointed out a disturbing similarity to real-world allegations. Victims have reported that children are deliberately subjected to fear or trauma to produce adrenochrome. This substance is then collected and used by the elites. The parallels between film and reality are used to normalize these acts in the minds of the public, a phenomenon known as predictive programming. There is also a growing belief that these rituals are tied to major industry events, specifically the Grammys. While Jim Carrey did not provide many details about this, people have started connecting dots after certain incidents. One example involves Oprah Winfrey. After she passed away, her mentor was said to have held his usual annual Grammys afterparty in the same building where she died, just hours later. This event drew criticism, including one from Shaka Khan, who publicly questioned the timing and appropriateness of the party. Many social media users also reacted with outrage and suspicion, noting the unusual prioritization of the event over mourning. These incidents have led some to speculate that these gatherings may serve as opportunities for secretive rituals, masked as celebrations. The combination of social media clues, leaked emails, and the timing of these events is raising alarms. Public comments online reflect a mixture of fear, disbelief, and horror. One of such comments was from a person who wrote, "Wow, wow, wow, Jim Carrey knew and tried to tell us. Then his girlfriend died shortly after this aired. Listen closely to the words Jim uses." In another comment, someone wrote, "Bro, every single lucid celebrity was trying to warn us, and they all went through controversies like Jim and depression, MJ being part of it. Everyone that gets close to the truth is silenced and forced to obey somehow. The wicked really do rule the world." Clearly, people are now questioning whether certain celebrity behaviors, odd party invitations, and public statements could have hidden meanings. Discussions about adrenochrome, cryptic tweets, and coded language are now trending in forums and social media groups dedicated to investigating these elites. The revelations are forcing a reassessment of what has been dismissed as absurd or fantastical in the past. This growing awareness also sheds light on why figures like Jim Carrey have consistently tried to draw attention to these issues. From the Illuminati hand signs on late-night shows to his speeches at award ceremonies, his warnings are being reevaluated in the context of newly surfaced evidence. Observers are beginning to realize that what was once thought of as eccentric comedy might have been genuine attempts to expose hidden networks and rituals. The disturbing pattern extends beyond just words and symbols. The emails, tweets, and accounts suggest a systemic approach to these activities, where power, secrecy, and wealth protect the perpetrators. Victims are left with little recourse, and the public is kept distracted or misinformed through media and entertainment. The more people examine these files, the more it becomes clear that these practices, if true, have been carefully hidden under layers of fame, influence, and coded communication. What makes this even more terrifying is that the use of adrenochrome is only one facet of a much larger network of alleged abuse and exploitation. While many initially dismiss such claims as fantasy or exaggeration, the combination of social media clues, leaked emails, and public events shows a chilling pattern. It is a world that has been operating under the radar for decades, and only a few brave individuals have dared to bring it to light. Even with the revelations, much remains unknown. The public is left to piece together fragments of evidence, trying to make sense of the cryptic communications, eyewitness accounts, and timing of elite events. Each new discovery strengthens the connection between the elite's gatherings and secretive, disturbing activities. These discoveries all serve as a reminder that warnings from figures like Jim Carrey may have been among the first attempts to alert the world to a danger that few were willing to acknowledge. The evidence, taken together, paints a frightening picture of power, secrecy, and manipulation. It shows a system where the powerful may exploit the vulnerable, maintain youth and influence through horrifying means, and hide in plain sight under the guise of fame and celebration. The patterns emerging from these revelations are now impossible to ignore. Social media reactions, public criticisms from artists like Shaka Khan, and the recent scrutiny of Chrissy Teigen's tweets all suggest that the public is starting to see the signs that were always there. The implications are as horrifying as they are urgent. Every new revelation, every uncovered email, and every rediscovered video raises questions about the safety of those who are silenced and the extent of these alleged rituals. People are starting to realize realize that what was once dismissed as conspiracy may have a real basis in carefully hidden and long-standing practices within elite circles. But what do you think about these revelations? Share your thoughts in the comments section, and don't hesitate to like, share, and subscribe to this channel for more videos that dig up hidden truths.